So first of all, what the fuck? Okay, this is it. So making an object that we can get through the in the edit map and also in the game scene. Give me a moment, let me get my thoughts straight here. So we're just gonna make let's say one green cube and one red cube, and the green cube will be the object that is placed in the edit map, and the other one. Also, first of all, let's look at why there are two objects. Okay, so in Reality Zombies, down here we're going to go to the prefabs, objects, build components, and here we go. Every object that we place in the game has two versions of itself. One that is the editor object, and the other one that is the game object. And no, well, let's see. This is, for example, the target, yeah, there's a the target is the one that stays the same. It's oh, the spawn point is the really good example actually, because the edit version of spawn point is visible, and as you can see, it's this red thing that is supposed to be. Why is this not red? What's going on here? Should I not have a directional light? Yes, I do. That's weird. Well, I think because I'm in this mixed reality toolkit scene. Oh, my computer's frozen. Great. Here we go. Okay, so spawn point. There we go. The editor version of it is red, and the game counterpart of it, the spawn point, is clear. It's there's no mesh, just so we can have different versions of it. I guess that's how the project has always been. So I just kept going this way. The main difference between the next thing we're going to look at the scripts that are stuck on attached to the object. See, in the ES object has a persistomatic class, and this is what after releasing, when you pinch the object to move it around, and as soon as you release it, the anchor function is automated. Somewhere set anchor name. Let me see. Oh, and how the object is placed, like the difference between a spawn point and a scoreboard. So the scoreboard has to be always facing vertical, and I think this takes care of it as well. I think I saw to keep upright. Both that gets set, and also another one is the always face camera. So it gives the object these abilities. Let me see. There we go. So if placing is when you move the object around. If the object was meant to be facing the camera, then make it face the camera. I don't see the. Okay, on select, this actually has to get changed because the mixed reality toolkit doesn't work this way anymore. Actually, this is a good note for myself too. Well, actually, okay, that's not important to what I was going to show you. I guess you can start. They'll make notes that you can start the video a little bit later, like now. Let's see. So as long as you have the editor object have a persistomatic class on it, and you give it a unique anchor name here, we use this anchor name anymore now that I think of it, but just copy the same pattern. We'll fix that later. We use the anchor name comes from game settings. And then the game object has nothing else but the scripts that it should be having to work in the game. Like this one just spawns stuff, so it no longer has the persist-o-matic. So now how to hook it all up. If we go into so first I go into game settings actually, because we're going to set the names for this new object. We're going to be placing oh shoot, I need to think of an object. Just a cube. Why is it so hard? Just a fucking cube, a sphere. A sphere. We don't have spheres. How about this? We're going to make 2 spheres. And we'll make it so one is 1 meter in 1 unit. 1 unit is 1 meter in real life. I'm going to do 0.447 meters. There we go. So this is going to be the editor object, and so we're going to call it underscore ES. And then duplicate it and make a GS version of it. Oh my god, I have the microphone on top of my keyboard and it's messing up my hand positioning. So the ES will have a persist-o-matic. It's going to be ARZ underscore ball, I guess. Capital B, I think the format is. Not placing parent, we're just going to place the object itself. Then it needs to be under any nothing for layers, nothing for tags. Okay, great. All right, let's just make one. Red, and the edit map one will be red. I think I have a red material somewhere. I'll just go with that one. And the other one will just be white, or we'll find a soccer ball texture. That'll be sweet. Alright, now if you go to game settings, get the name of the anchor, go into game settings. There we go, and this is where we're gonna. Game settings is gonna hold names of anchors. That way, we have one central point for the anchor names, and we don't have to like look everywhere. Like all of the anchors in the game are in here, so you can go all the way to the last entry and just pretty much copy paste the same format, anchor name, ARZ ball. Replace that with this. And yeah, ARZ ball. Oh, it's nice. Anchor name ball. Sorry. This is ARZ ball, all in one word. And the getter for that is get anchor name for ball. Alright, so this part is done. Now we have to just change the edit, the edit room and the game room script. One is in World Manager and the other one is in Game Manager. Close all but this is what I want. So this is the script that is in the edit scene. So let's go to edit scene. edit map, sorry. And under World Manager, you have a reference to all of the ES versions of the object, which is, oh no, what did I do? I didn't make a prefab out of them. Oh, I was missing something. This is gonna be fun. Here are the prefabs. Okay, let's see, sphere. And make that red. Actually, duplicate it first. Name it now. Name it first. Yes. Add per systematic. No. Duplicate it. GS. This gets red mapped. This guy. This gets nothing. This will get per systematic. And call it ARZ underscore ball. All is set. Now make prefabs out of them. Build components down here. This goes into the ES folder, editor, comps, components, and this goes into the game components folders. Get out of there, and in World Manager, now I'm going to add a reference to the ES version. Same thing, just go to the bottom, just add those entries. This will be ball object. Okay. And let's compile and give me my public graph. Okay. I should have placed it a little missing, yeah. There we go. Come on. There we go. And where's my ball ES? It should be ABC under ES. Oh, it's a sphere ES. Damn it. Sphere ES goes down here. We can apply. And there's a couple of hookups that need to be done here. We have to initialize the name because we can have, depending on whether you want to have a list of those objects or only one placeable. If you look at spawns, we need to make a list of spawns and their name must be incremented by 1 every time you place one. You can just look at how spawns work. If not, you can look at single elements, like a target only has does not have there's no list of targets, just a boolean that says it's been placed or not, because we only want to allow one. Yeah, just copy the same pattern and go new line here to get the anchor name for the ball and get it from the game settings. And then after that, let's make it so there's only one that you can place. Ball placed. the next references to those, let's see. Update nothing. When the World Anchor store starts, this is where it's going to be taking. Oh, this is the first time it gets to the game. It fetches objects that have been placed from the Anchor store, from their names in the Anchor store, and places them back. That way, when you get back into Edit Map, you see all the objects where they should have been. Let's make the same thing as tutorial right. I guess this is one of those objects as well that's placed, so it's pretty much just copy paste. Just this must be exactly equal to that name, but this if it only contains part of the name, that's because anchors for the ammo infinite, you can place many info infinites boxes, and their name will be have an extension, and the extension is the number of objects that have been placed. So it will be like ammo box 1, 2, 3, ammo box 1, ammo box 2, ammo box 3, and if it only contains ammo box, then that's the guy we're looking for. This, on the other hand, is just a single reference, so I could just say if the name is exactly equal to anchor name ball, which is actually ARZ ball, instantiate the ball object and get the persist automatic from it. And once you set the, there we go, persist set anchor name. We do need to set the anchor name manually. Tutorial target placed. This will be ball. Ball placed. And let's see. I think instantiate object. This is where we're able to tap and call this function to place the object we want. And there's two overloads here. I forgot what was that was for. Guess what counts. Oh, there's a check. We'll do is ball placed. I have time to clean up. I should be doing this now, but capitals for is, oh god. But might as well be consistent. Well placed. Load scene. Oh, now these are the functions that are going to be called from the voice commands. So let's make one that is create ball, and we're going to make it the same way as a hotspot. It just gets placed on the floor. Down here. Create a ball. Gaze manager. So at this point, if there is a gaze manager, then we take the I guess there's no ID, there's only one that's going to be placed, so we don't need this. We just need to instantiate ball object. The name will just be, I guess, ball name. The anchor name ball. at the place where we our gaze is hitting the floor. Turn identity. That should do anything. And also, I'll set um, the placed to true. So the first time around was just an auto load of the object. So when you placed, this is the manual placing. This is the person staring down at the floor and saying something like place ball, and this function fires, and we have to set the ball placed to true. But earlier what we did the same thing, and earlier it was in the function that starts right on awake and loads the edit map with all the objects that were placed earlier. It's like a cached object placement. Placed, load scene, create function is done. Anything else we need to do here? Oh, removing, very important. So now we have to handle removing the ball. Wait, I did it twice. The thing that we've pointed at and decided to delete has the same name as the anchor names, the ball's anchor name. Then ball placed is now false, and we have to delete it somewhere. Oh, on reset, we need to also set ball placed to false. So that's it for the edit scene. Then it goes into game scene. Oh, we have to also put, no, that's not it, the edit speech. We have to add a voice command for placing the ball. And where'd it go? So this script references a manager. This time it's the world manager. The next time in game it's going to be the game manager. Main menu. Let's see. So these are keyboard inputs for testing. So let's see. I thought I broke it down into standardized key phrases. No, I guess not. None of this one. Oh, okay. I guess we're just gonna do it this way. Place ball. I wonder if that's going to be too close to something else. I guess not. Place ball. Create ball is the function we just made. Remove sends the remove message to the focused object, which should be a persystematic, and would have on remove. So that should do. I don't even need to do a keyboard. That's just for testing. Yeah, that's just for the single player. Just for testing. Well, we don't really need it right now. Then in the game, here in the game manager, come on, we'll create the ball GS to be placed by the game when it starts. They are game objects to be placed. Yeah, this should be set. I started actually trying to centralize this whole thing. Anytime you find yourself copy pasting code, this should be replaced by a function somewhere. Um, should be like an objects manager, like a placeable objects manager that just has all those references. Green ball. Start. There's definitely. Let's look if it's the dev room. Wait. Why do I set the names of the anchors? Oh yeah, and oh, what's this doing here? That's a private function, not a property. Yeah. Init variable names should be about. Oh man, this is all effed up. It's not easy to read. Fuck it. Okay, do it live. We're gonna set up the same fucking thing as this fucking line. Yeah, it's the same thing. Should fucking fix that at some point. Okay, but not now. Anchor name ball. Get anchor name ball. Okay, yeah. And now we need to just link it. We give link it here. Where's the object? GS. It's sphere GS. This is done doing its thing. Sphere GS is right here. Oh, all objects up here. Okay. Sphere GS. Go, go, go. Okay. And that should. No, 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 no. There's still instantiating this on load. Load objects. Where is not here? Okay, back in game manager. Game start. Blah blah blah. Let's talk. Where's my load object? There it is. So when this gets called, which is at the very beginning of the scene, it looks at the anchor store, and if the name is exactly equal to something like Pathfinder as a good example, new one to be set. If its name is exactly equal to the name for anchor for the ball, then we instantiate the ball object. We can reference other code here. So it gets the anchor, removes it, just remove it, and then don't need this. This was just for the pass of the bullets at the end of the game for the effect. But I think that's it. So by doing these steps, you'll be able to have a be an edit map, have a voice command that places a ball, have another voice command when you say remove the ball goes away. When you go into the game scene, then the object gets loaded. When you get back into edit scene, the same object gets loaded, and that's pretty much how you place things in ARZ. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, not for bad.